They are very well educated, which is very nice. You're dealing with a challenging customer, and it made whatever is about to come much easier than what I already faced. Every agent has at least one big transaction per year. To me, is success. It's not the first transaction, it is the resale transaction. The international market, to me, is quite easier. I don't see it to be a bad strategy. It's actually excellent. It's an iconic development. It's something that you look at, and the location and the community are big factors. You know, teamwork
I agree.
makes the dream work.
Exactly. Welcome back to Habibi Door is Open, the podcast where the Dubai skyline meets the real estate insight. I'm your host, Wagdi Abulaziz, bringing another episode weaving together the vibrant stories and the opportunities in Dubai real estate market. Today, we're excited to have a special guest, Nibal Khattar, the sales manager of PSI. He's not just a member of PSI or a sales manager, having attended road shows in Cyprus and Italy, bringing back with him not just the deals, but a fascinating experience with the clients from around the globe. So let's dive right and uncover the layers of experience and the stories that Nibal has to share it. Nibal, could you please tell us your journey in real estate and what has inspired you to join PSI?
So I started around 7 years back in PSI. Before that, I was doing a bit of leasing. So entering into PSI was a challenge for me. It was the first time I was doing sales. I did not know what I was entering into. I was still fresh into the market. Also, I had to spend a lot of time studying the project. So it was a difficult struggle in the beginning. But of course, when you give something enough time and appreciation, when you're passionate about what you're doing, of course, there's going to be progress. There's going to be an upscale in your career, and you're going to begin to like it more and more as you go on.
I agree. So definitely, Nibal, 7 years of being in PSI, you face a lot of challenges, a lot of successful deals as well. So what is the most successful deal that you did, and what is the most or hardest objection you faced while you're dealing with the clients, dealing with the team? Would you please share us some information in order to inspire those people watching us?
So I would say, of course, every deal is a successful deal, but I'll split it into two. I had one of the hardest transactions, which was actually my first transaction in real estate. Most real estate agents find it easier to hop into the off-plan market. I was unfortunately dragged into the resale transaction of my first one. Why I found it difficult? Because I was still trying to explore the market, not very confident in meetings, not very sure about the process from A to Z. I was still learning, I was still understanding where I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to act in these different scenarios. And the transaction turned out to be a mortgage to mortgage transaction.
Whoa, this is
was
really difficult.
A nightmare. Yeah. It's something that usually takes around 2 weeks up to a month, maybe two, to close down. And alhamdulillah, and it ended up being to my own advantage. We closed the deal. That was my first commission that I made out of it. It was a small studio in Reem Island in Abu Dhabi. I remember it very well. It's one of the only transactions that I remember very, very vividly. It actually, this transaction is what taught me future deals, and it made whatever is about to come much easier than what I already faced.
I agree with you. No one will ever forget his first deal. Okay, so what about your successful or big deal?
Now, big deals, they come by from time to time. I have this ideology that every agent has at least one big transaction per year.
One big transaction.
Really big.
How big it is? 100 million?
Maybe
20 million?
Maybe
and
not 100
big for
million.
you?
I would say somewhere like in the 50 million, 40 million range.
Okay.
That's not the normal deal that you normally close on a month-to-month basis.
Definitely.
I can tell you one of the deals that I really enjoyed was a full floor in Dubai Creek Harbor. It was during the time where it was the grand launch.
Okay.
We had a couple of meetings with this customer, but every time this customer came, he would discuss the same things over and over again. And then he'd tell me, I think about it. And then he'll come the second day. And then he will go through the same briefing. He says, I'll think about it. Then I come on the third day. Third day, I began to really feel skeptical about this customer, whether he's actually going to buy or not. And he turned out to be as serious as he says. And he put down a check and he took that full floor. And thankfully, I lived to the day where I can sell that full floor again with him for a very high premium. And that to me is success. It's not the first transaction, it is the resale transaction, because this is what shows you the agents that really appreciate what a real estate market is. When you
Yes.
actually make really decent money for a customer that has been patient from you from A to Z, or on a time span of 1 to 3 years.
I totally agree with this, especially with those type of deals is taking long time, a lot of questions, a lot of numbers, etc. So, what do you think? The local clients are easier than the international client, especially you, the one who made the road shows. You travel a lot with the team. So, which one is easier from your point of view, and how's difficult to explain to somebody that basically he's outside the country, he's not aware of Dubai, he don't know what is Dubai, what is Abu Dhabi, whatever it is, and in the same time you convince them to pay that amount of money. So which one is easier for you, and what is the challenges that you face it while you're doing road shows and traveling and coming back, and etc.?
Yeah, although I would say 80% of our transactions are done in the local market, but I still do believe that the international market, to me, is quite easier than the local market. Being said that the local market is more educated, they're used to terminologies such as golden visa, such as low price per square foot, such as a payment plan. So they're very used to these terminologies. However, when you start to introduce it to someone who is not aware of all of these things, you begin to see the excitement on their face. You begin to see that the build of encouragement to invest turns out to be an easier transaction, because you have so many selling points to talk about. But speaking to someone in the local market, you might find that
they have a lot of objections.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's be frank.
Aside from lots of objections, they also know the market maybe even more than you do.
I agree.
You know, they are very well educated, which is very nice. You're dealing with a challenging customer. But then again, going back to your question, is that who do I find easier? I definitely find the international easier, because they do have we do have quite some things here that are actually they differ from what they have. Talking about like the no tax, the visas, the opportunities, the safety, the currency, many other factors, the appreciation, the prices, and the payment plans, and the type of developments as well. I've had many clients tell us that we have never seen such building structures in our hometown. We have never had payment plans. You had to pay like everything full cash. We have customers that have said, we pay 40% in tax interest. Our mortgage fees are very high. So we have a lot of points that can always make the client very excited to go ahead and at least have 1 or 2 properties in Dubai.
Yes,
and word of mouth works amazingly. So once you transact with one international client, it's like you have stepped into that whole market. Let's say you have a client from Italy and you had done one successful transaction with them, you will find that he will start talking to his friends, his neighbors, his family members, and the tree goes on. So you will start to generate a huge portfolio of people from that specific country.
So Nibal, as I know you, and we're working together, and you try to show that you are very decent and all of the things over here, there's a lot of funny things is happening, definitely, during the road shows, the closing the deals. So I want you to share with us like one of the scenarios or one of the conversation between you and somebody else. Like what happened? Like you have your team's name is Murat, right?
Yeah.
Can you please tell us more about Murat?
Murad is a very unique character, I would say.
Okay.
Not the normal agent.
It's not?
I actually interviewed Murad on Google Translate.
Google Translate.
Yeah. He had zero English in his vocabulary.
Seriously?
Nothing at all.
Okay.
And he's Turkish mainly. So anything that I would say, I would get like a blank face, so he wouldn't understand anything that I'm saying, and I wouldn't understand anything that he's saying. How did he get hired? I have no clue. He just had passion in him. He had like a fuel that was firing, and this was why I had to bring him onto the team. But I gave him a challenge. I told him, you have a target. You need to prove yourself. You need to prove that this is your domain. Of course, all of this was on typing. And he actually did it. He surprised all of us, and he came out to be an outstanding agent. All of this was not due to the lack of language. It was, I think the lack of language was what drove him to be more passionate to succeed. Is that seeing what's happening around him, it has made him feel like, I don't want to be at a disadvantage. How can I use my passion, my energy in order to put more out there and to succeed more?
Okay, this really nice stuff. One more thing, you doing road shows.
Yeah.
And you going over there, your team is going over there, so you have a multicultural team coming from different backgrounds, coming from different mindsets. Everything's totally different. How you bond them, how you make them working as a team. I remember the board over here write down one of your strengths is my team, and I was like, I was really surprised, like, okay, this really inspired me personally. So how you can make them work as in one unit?
Now, I believe that the power of a team is to combine several different skill sets in one area. So, for example, we have people that are very decent in marketing. We have people that are very decent in selling high tickets. We have people that are specialized in low ticket investments. We have the end user agents. We have the resale. We have the off-plan agents. We have the let's say bilingual agents as well. So when you combine all these skill sets under one roof, you do get a lot of advantages, and they start to pour into each other's cup, let's say, and in return it comes out to be a very successful team, because it's teamwork, you know. Teamwork,
I agree,
makes the dream work.
Exactly. So last week we had a great and magnificent launch by Binghatti Mercedes, and we went over there. What do you think about the branded residence right now in the market, especially like a developer like Binghatti start from a JVC areas, Arjan and all of the small areas, and then start Jacob & Co, Bugatti, and the latest one is Mercedes residence. So give us your opinion. What do you think about it?
I see that the developer is trying to benchmark themselves or to lift their standards up to the high-scale developers. I don't see it to be a bad strategy. It's actually excellent.
Agree.
Binghatti has proven to show that they have a lot of power in the market. They have delivered several projects already in JVC and in Jaddaf and Business Bay and all of these areas. And right now they're trying to step into the higher luxury, which is nice because they are focusing their developments into more unique and exclusive launches. It's something that you don't see every day. You know, when you associate yourself with a brand, it gives more value to the product, and in return, this makes more of an investment potential for the buyer. Today, when you associate yourself with Jacob & Co, you are targeting all of the watchmakers, you're targeting all of the watch enthusiasts, and you're offering a limited amount of units, which is going to make the resale process in the later stage much more profitable, because you are targeting a niche of these customers that do in fact pay a lot of money to enjoy this luxury.
I agree.
And with the latest launch of Mercedes, it's also following the same track lines. Mercedes is known to be quality. For example, when you just say Mercedes, you are ranking it up with the very high quality car makers.
I agree.
So when you join it with a brand such as Binghatti and develop it in an area such as downtown, you are directly tapping into these high-end investors or high-end end users, I would say, that are willing to have a home in downtown. They love the brand, they love the lifestyle, they love the views, they love the exclusivity of the units, how unique the product is, how iconic it is. Such projects, you are putting them on the same line as let's say Burj Al Arab or Burj Khalifa or the Royal Atlantis, let's say. It's an iconic development. It's something that you look at and you go like, this is not a normal building, this is something that is out of the ordinary.
Totally different.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they say, like, when it comes to the ROI, and even my team did this when we were discussing these things, I told them, guys, like, there's nothing called the expectations of the ROI, especially for this kind of
you couldn't put a price
buildings. You can put whatever you want, because at the end, the location is downtown, heart of Dubai. The demand always high over there. Yeah. And there is no expectations. People can double up triple up their amounts, even as it comes with the ROI or even with the capital appreciation. And right now in the market, as we attend as well before Binghatti, you remember the Mac when we got our awards there that time, they launched that Altitude, right, in the Business Bay. What do you think about Altitude? And the vision of the Mac right now is totally taking a different vision. So tell us more about this from your point of view as well.
The Mac also faced somewhat similar to what Binghatti is doing, but on a different level.
Okay.
Recently, a few years back, the Mac may have hit a hitch here and there with some of their projects, but a complete overturn has happened with the developer, with the new designers, the new development team. There are several new architects that they have onboarded as well. They are coming up with very unique designs, very special projects as well, starting from the lagoons up to the Safa 1, Safa 2. You have the such locations such as the Mac Bay and Cavalli. And
I agree.
So all of these are projects that do in fact stand out from the previous inventory that we used to see from the Mac. It's more of on the medium to high range level, and it is also putting the Mac up there with the sharks in the market. It has always been, but now it is pushing above ground.
I agree. Especially when Miss Amira Sijwani, she joined as well, she made a lot of difference. A lot
and
of
it's
difference.
Very noticeable. Yes,
it is. I remember in her words and speech there, she gave a lot of agents the motivational to like, this is what we will do, this is what we will focus on. So the Mac is really doing well nowadays.
Definitely. Also in terms of sales, we have witnessed many sales events for the Mac.
Agree.
The units vanish.
Do you remember the launch of the Mac
I do.
Lagoon views?
Yes, I do.
Like, guys, we're waiting over there for like 2-3 hours, and 1, 2, 3, 4 buildings is being sold out. Like, seriously, no one could believe this.
Yeah, there was they launched a total of around I think 18 buildings.
18 buildings, yes.
And I remember I was looking at the screen. They were showing the total amount of units that
I was there with you. I was there.
And we saw 57 floors just gone in a matter of an hour.
And still people says the demand in the market is not that much good. This is one of the questions, like, based on what you guys are saying that.
Look, I do not blame people for what they might think. Of course, whoever is in the market, I mean, either a buyer or an agent, would understand what is happening to the market. Would understand the demand and would understand that, yes, there is a high supply, but there's also a higher demand. But when people from different domains judge the market, I can understand why they might not have the correct idea. Our job at the end of the day is to educate. So this is what we're here to do.
Exactly. So I'm not gonna ask you the question, what do you think about the Mac or Binghatti in terms which one shall you direct your clients in order to invest? So let's make it in general, to be very frank, at least the reason for this podcast to add value to the audience. Otherwise they are investor or even they are an agent. So give us advice, like, for your investor, you tell them, like, what is the best things that, or the advice that you have to advise them for their investment?
Okay.
Like location, quality, ROI, and based on what?
Yeah. So I would say when choosing a property for a client, you have to first choose it for yourself. Of course, location has to be the primary or number one non-negotiable. The location. Next up is the quality. Also, the developer or the brand that you're associating yourself with is also making a big difference. And the community itself. So today, when you buy a property, you're not actually paying for the property, you're paying for the surroundings.
Agree.
I don't see any validation in paying for a penthouse of 500 million in the Palm if it wasn't in the Palm.
Yes.
So the location and the community are big factors for an investment, because at the end of the day, what you need to think about is who will buy your property next. So what will they need in a property?
Okay.
They will most definitely need a prime location somewhere in the close areas of Dubai. Right now, we don't have a benchmark of where we used to always say 10 minutes away from downtown or 15 minutes away from downtown, but now most of Dubai is a downtown.
Exactly.
So,
20 minutes away from everywhere.
Exactly. So being in the center is a very feasible point.
I agree.
Also, in terms of quality, right now, and many people, I face this from a lot of people that are renting properties as well. They come back to me and they tell me, looking for a property with very decent layout, good quality, and they start to really narrow down their search, because in Dubai, at least the old real estate is not much desirable right now. People are starting to look into the more modern layouts, more bigger sizes, I would say, or more comfortable sizes, more better interiors.
Exactly, and the facilities as well, and the amenities. Right now, a lot of demand. People will ask, apart from the layout, what is facilities? Do I get spa, jacuzzis?
The normal swimming pool and gym is now like out of the question.
It's normal, exactly.
People are starting to expand their thoughts more. I've seen buildings where they have their own indoor cinema, their own indoor golf course.
Like Samana, I remember.
Yeah, yes. crazy amenities that are coming by developers, which is nice, because they do give an edge, or they do make the investment in that place much higher in rental yield, because whoever is going to be living in that building is going to enjoy thousands of facilities that they wouldn't have to pay for if they didn't have it.
Exactly. I agree. It was a really very healthy conversation with you. It was a pleasure having you on our podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Wajdi.
And definitely we're looking forward for more and more information from your side.
Sure.
For the coming episodes as well, for our audience, our investors, or even a real estate agent. Thanks so much, Nibal, for being with us today. It was a
pleasure is mine.
Thank you so much. To our audience, we hope we found this episode as enlightening and engaged as we did. Your passion and interest are what keep us going, and we cannot wait to bring you more stories and insight and experts in our coming episode. Remember, whether you are looking to invest, settle, or just explore, Dubai real estate has a story for everyone, and we are here to uncover them all. Remember to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform, follow us on the social media, stay tuned, and as always, Habibi, Dubai's door is open.